Dear students, it is the second video for week 1 and we'll talk about geopolitical importance of Pakistan. Dear students, geological position means that where a country is geographically located and how that location gives advantage to a country in developing relations with the other countries, other nations, other cultures, and create a political impact on the other countries. Well, strategically, Pakistan is situated on very significant geographical patch of Asia. Well, and it is connected with East, with Central Asia, with oil producing countries of Gulf. It is also connected with India, and on the south, Pakistan is open to the world through sea, Arabian Sea, that gives advantage to Pakistan, to the Gulf, and even to the Indian Ocean. Fine. So location of Pakistan has always been a very great advantage, and since its birth and even before, the area where Pakistan is situated has been a great importance for everyone, be they were the Central Asian invaders, Muslim rulers, even the local Indian rulers, or whether they were the British. Everybody had to control this area by various strategies, and by one mean or other, this area remained the area of struggle, and still it is so. To understand the deeply about the geopolitical importance of Pakistan, we'll have to move to the map. Clear? Through map, it is much easier. As I in the first as in the first video, I explained you that Pakistan is situated on the Eurasian plate and Indian plate. Clear? Look, first, what great powers are around Pakistan? Number one, China. It is from the north side and it is the world's largest economy, and maybe it is sooner be the first economy of the world. Fine. Secondly, India. India is the third largest nation in the world. Fine. And they are a very old rivals of Pakistan. So Pakistan by many ways is connected to India, and the both countries create and exert different kind of political pressures, and so often they have been in the wars. Well, Afghanistan. Pakistan from the western side is connected with Afghanistan through the Clear and Iran. Well, and the Arabian Sea. Uh, Firstly, we have to explain prehistorically that Pakistan means, if we recall the history, the earliest rulers or invaders from Central Asia, they came from Afghanistan. Chinese Huns, they came from these areas of Gilgit Baltistan through the Silk Route. Fine. And from invaders and the conquerors from Iran, mostly they were Arabs. They came through these areas and they settled there. Uh, means governments. They introduced culture. They introduced new religions and concept. Clear. And in that area, Sindh came to know as Babul Islam. Fine. So these areas are extremely important from geopolitical situation, and even before history, the earliest uh, what we say the Aryans, this migrated from the Asian vast Asian land to these areas, and they got settled here, and a new culture, a new religion of Hindu and Aryans that evolved in this area. Thereby, this area, because of the Indus Valley civilization, has been the center of the major civilizations. Later on, Alexander, the greatest conqueror of Europe, he conquered Iran, and then he went to Afghanistan, entered into Pakistan, the recent Pakistan areas, fine, and conquered many areas till he reached to the mainlands of India. That time it was known to be known with the different names. Fine. And even in the times of British, when they came and they conquered these areas slowly, for here they had to settle their disputes with Iran, with they had to settle their dispute with mostly Afghans, clear, and that time the different lines were drawn and the boundaries were settled. And even in the present time, this area is highly significant because of the Afghanistan Iran. That's how this area is going to be significant in many ways. Number one, let's for example, China is a huge power and a very old, reliable ally of Pakistan. And in the current situation, when India is developing plans with Israel, they have made different kind of pacts with America and other countries who doesn't like do not like Pakistan, and they are against the existence of Pakistan. China has got a huge importance. Fine. Well, with Chinese, Pakistan has started a number of projects, clear, in culture, education, economy, infrastructure, defense at international level, clear. So there are huge importance. We will discuss these points in the under the heading of the transit economy. Well, secondly, Russia. At that time, USSR was very hostile to Pakistan, was a very close nation, neighbor. But now the situation at the international level has changed, and Russia is now getting closer to Pakistan. Although in Cold War, Pakistan fought against Russia being in American bloc, and resultantly many countries got freedom. Clear? So Pakistan now has very good relations with the Central Asian countries like Turkmenistan, Tajikistan. Uh, Although Tajikistan is a little bit different because of the Indian influence, but the other Central Asian countries are very close to Pakistan. However, Pakistan is trying to settle disputes with Tajikistan and hope they will be settled. Afghanistan remained another important country throughout the historic times. British settled their disputes, and there was a war between British and Afghans. And that those deadly wars, British were defeated by the Afghans. Later on, uh, this frontier, western frontier, came under threat by the Soviet Union invasion. Pakistan had to fight, and then Americans uh, attacked on Afghanistan. Uh, they were morely on the Taliban government, and still they are in fighting. Now Americans want to leave those areas with the help of Pakistan. So by this means, Pakistan is also very important country, because Pakistan play plays a very key role in the regional politics, and Pakistan's role has been appreciated, especially in war against terrorism. And you know that Pakistan is the only country in the world which has fought a huge long war of terrorism from all fronts, and luckily, with the quickness, agility, and patriotism of our armed forces and the public of Pakistan, the war has been won. Well, then another frontier border, Iran, is a very important country, and these countries are full of natural resources. And then Arabian Sea, and from Iran onward start the Gulf countries. The Gulf countries produce 65% of the world's oil. Fine. Thereby, the Americans and the Western world is altogether interested in Pakistan, and in all international regional conflicts, Pakistan has been playing a very important role. Thereby, in the Gulf, Pakistan has a direct access through sea, and Pakistan has developed or sustained very close relation with Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Egypt. So, Pakistan is a key country with the Islamic world. Well, this Arabian Sea is the greatest blessing for Pakistan. Warm waters, deep ports, access to Indian Ocean, access to Gulf, okay, that makes Pakistan strategically one of the best countries in the world. And you know that by the CPAC, we'll discuss CPAC in detail, that how CPAC is going to be a huge important. Look, that Chinese have to cover almost over 5,000 kilometers of their trade to reach to the other world, and their own port of the South Chinese Sea is almost 4,500 kilometers away from their mainland, whereas Pakistan provides them almost 1,600 kilometers strip, and the trade of China uh, is can be boosted into the world. Fine. So there are many other points that make Pakistan as one of the most important country in the world. In the next video, we will discuss the other attributes of the geopolitics and the culture. Thank you very much.